Hello friend, how are you? Welcome to Tripan Study Center. Today we are doing most important chapter of history. What is the topic today? Bhakti movement. There is a part of chapter of culture development in the Middle India. There is a most important chapter and the important here point the Bhakti movement. The Bhakti movement is the most important of all competitions. The Bhakti movement in the India is a history represented as a movement that is a popularized a revelation of surrender to the personality is a conceive a supreme God. It's a organized art traced to the Brahmanicals and Buddhist traditional of ancient India. It was in the South India that is a grab from a religious tradition into a popular movement based on the religious equalities and a broad base of social participation. The movement led by popular Sant reached its climax in the 10th century AD. In its attempt to be immersed the concept of bhakti, there is a movement in different religions and derived from a diverse tradition and assumed to the difference from in different part of the subcontinent. The bhakti movement is a attempt to the break away from to the orthodox is a Brahmanism. The movement gathered to the momentum in the earlier Middle period. The historians had attempted to associate the origin of the bhakti movement in India with the advent of the Islam and the spread of the Sufism. They agree that the Turkish is a conquest is a power there is a wave for a reaction against the conformist Rajput Brahman domination. The rise of Bhakti movement is considered by some scholars as a reaction against the feudal's operation. And this anti-federal turns to be a poetry by Bhakti Sant like Kabir, Nanak, Chaitanya and Tulsidas are seen in the illustration of the point. There is no single opinion about the origin of the Bhakti movement that can be sustained. It is clear from the poetry and the philosophy of the Bhakti Sant that there is a broke away from to the orthodox of Brahmanism. They believed a religious equality and identified to themselves with the suffering of the common people. Some scholars feel that is a social economical change in the earlier Middle period and provide the necessary is a backdrop of the understand the emergence of the Bhakti movement. During the 13th and 14th century, the demand of the manufacture of goods, the luxuries and other artisans is a good increasing leading to the movement of artisans into the cities. The artisans were attracted to the Bhakti because of it is a deal of the equality. This group where is a dissatisfied with the low status is accorded to be them to the Brahmanical system. The movement again to the support from these classes of society, and there is also a few variation in the place like a Punjab where are not only a Khatris but Jat is a peasant as where also is a attract to this movement. The Bhakti movement in the earlier Middle period represent an important movement from reform and change. After the rise of the heterodox is a movement of 60th century BC, there is a Bhakti movement represent another phase of Indian history in which a new idea and practice to the emerge, influencing to the country as a was initiating form of movement. The next year, the Bhakti movement in the northern India. The Bhakti movement in the northern included social religious movement that were linked to be one of the Acharya from to the south and the sometimes seen to the constitutionally of the movement that organized in the south. Though there is very similarity in the tradition of the two religions, the nation of Bhakti the varied in the teachings of each of the Sant. The Nirgun Bhakti like a Kabir rejected the is a Brahma and all the convention based on the constitution of the communist new value and helping to emerge of the new group and new is unorthodox is a potent and sad. Sagun Bhakti, like Tulsi Das, on the other hand, is upheld the caste system and the supremacy of the Brahmins. They are preached to religious of surrender and simple faith in a personal God and had strong commitment to the idols of worship. The next year is a monotheistic bhakti. The Kabir is a 1440 is a 1518 AD was the earliest and most influential bhakti sant in northern India. He was a weaver. He spent a large part of the life in the Naras. He is the poem where is included in the Sikh scripture. Their Adils is a Granth. Adi Granth is most important among these who were influenced by there is a Kabir Vera Raidas, who was a 10 years by the caste the Banaras is a Guru Nanak who was the is a Khatri from to Punjab and Dana who was the Jat peasant from Rajasthan. There are similarity in the teaching of the various monotheistic Bhakti Sant in Northern India. The first era, most of the monotheists is belong to the low caste and where is aware that there is excited to the unity in their idea. They were is also aware of each other is the teachings and influence in the and there is a verses from to the mention teach other and there is a predecessors in there is a manners suggesting to the ideological affinities among them. All of them were influenced by the Vaishnava is a concept of the Bhakti. The Nath Panthi is the movement and Sufism. There is an idea seem to be a synthesis of the three traditions. The importance given to the personal experience of Bhakti Sant with the God was another common feature among to the monotheistic Bhakti Sant. Nirgun Bhakti and not a Sagun Bhakti was what they believe in. They had adopted to the notion of the Bhakti from a Vaishnavism and but they give to the Nirgun orientation. Though there is a call to God using different name and title, their God was a known incarnate, formless and eternal and infallible. The Bhakti Santa refused any formal association with the organized dominant or religious of the time. Hinduism and Islam and their criticized that is regarded to be a there is negative accept and there is religious. And they reject to the authorities of their Brahmans and attract the caste system and practice of idolatries. And they compose there is a poem in a popular language and the lyrics of spoken across the northern India and this enabled them to the transmit there is the idea among to the masses. It is a help there is the idea to the spread of rapidly among to the various lower classes. The next year is a Vaishnava Bhakti. The Vaishnava Bhakti is in the 14th to the earlier 15th century. Ramananda emerged as popular Vaishnava Bhakti, the son of northern India. Though he was from the south, he is lived in the Banaras because he is considered it to be the link between to the South India Bhakti and North India Vaishnava Bhakti tradition. He is looked upon to the Ram and the not of Vishnu as the object of Bhakti. He is a worship to Ram and Sita and come to be identified as the founder of Ram cult in there is a northern India. He like the Namaste Bhakti son also reject is a caste, chases and preached in the local language in the attempt to the popularize to the cult. His follower is called to the Ramandas this. Ramanandis is the Tulsi Das also is a champion to their Bhakti case. In the earlier 16th century, Vallabhchari, a popular Bhakti son, popularized is the Krishna Bhakti. Among those who is a follow his is a footstep as a Shurdas 1483 to 1563 and Mirabai 1503 to 1573 is a Vallabhacharya is the most important popular Bhakti sant. The Vaishnava Bhakti movement is a Bengal was very different from its counterparts in their northern India and south. It was influenced by the Vaishnava Bhakti tradition of their Bhagavad Puran. The Bhagavad Puran and the Sahasvya is a Buddhist and Nathapanthist tradition. and this tradition focus on the aesthetics of the emotionally accepted of the devotion. In the 12th century, the Jayadev was the important Bhakti Sant in tradition. He highlighted to the mystical dimension of the love with the reference to Krishna and Radha. Chaitanya was the popular Bhakti Sant from the religion. He is looked upon to the is the avatara of Krishna. Though this did not be a question the authorities of the Brahmins and the scriptures, he also popularized the Sankiram is a group of devotion as a song accompanied with the statistics dancing. With him to the Bhakti movement the Bengal began to develop into the reform movement with the notation of the caste division that come to be questioned. In Maharashtra, the Bhakti movement drew to the inspiration from to the Bhagavad Puran and the Shiva Nathpanthis. There is a Janaveswar was the opinions is a Bhakti Sant of Maharashtra. He is a commentary on the Bhagavad Gita called to the Janaveswaris serve as a foundation of the Bhakti ideology in Maharashtra. Agrees against the caste restrictions, he believed that the only way to the attain God was the truly Bhakti. The Vithoba is the god of his the sin, and that it is a follower to perform to the pilgrimage to the temple twice an year. There is important Vithoba. Vithoba is the god of this sect, the follower, and the Vidhapa is a Pandopura, is become the ministry of the moment of the Maharashtra. Namdev is a 1270 to 1350 was the another important Bhakti Sant from Maharashtra. Well, he is a remember in the northern India is a monasteristic tradition as a Nirgun Sant. In the Maharashtra, he is considered to be a part of the Bharakaris tradition, the Vaishnava devotion of tradition. Some of the other important Bhakti Sant of Maharashtra were to Sant Choka, Sonara, Tulkarams, and the Eknath. Tulkaram as a teaching are in there is a form of the is Avengas Dovas, which is a constitute of the Gotha. There is a Eknatha is as a teaching that where is a Marathi attempted to the shift the emphasis of the Marathi literature from especially is an evocative composition. There is a important